Hello and welcome to Tammy. I'm so glad you could join me today. I'm so excited because this is Tammy, your story, your community. I want you to be inspired. I want you to be ignited. I want you to feel revolutionized, to empower yourselves to tell your unique story and talk about your community. That's what it's all about. You see, while we were going through COVID, I was locked up here in the house as well, like everybody else, sheltered in. And so I had an opportunity to think about what it is that I wanted to do. Before my father passed away many years ago, I promised him that I would make a difference in the lives of others through wisdom and knowledge. And so today, I want you to feel inspired again, ignited, and revolutionized because I'm looking for those unique stories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. My first guest is a New York producer. She's a writer, she's an educator, she's a mother, she's a grandmother, she travels around the world, and yes, she's on Tammy. Her name is Deanne Lane. She hails from Queens, New York. Hello, Deanne. How are you?
Hi, Tammy. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being on Tammy. I mean, when I read your book, of course, about the movie and all, we're going to talk about all those projects. But the one thing that struck me, Deanne, was you said that you want your readers to be entertained. And you said it's like entertaining expeditions. That's what your writing is all about. So let's talk about it. Who's Deanne Lane? Queens, New York.
Oh, wow. Queens, New York. Simple girl, brought up at Cambria Heights, went to Andrew Jackson High School, found out that writing was a journey. Oh my gosh. You know, when you have the world going crazy around you, you can disappear into your head and just sit with a piece of paper and a pen and just go off into places you've never been before. And, you know, you have to remember, I'm like 4 generations out from slavery. So what did our parents really know about traveling and what have you? So as a young individual in high school, I learned to read and to also say to myself, if I can't afford to go, let me read and see where I could go in my mind, put it on paper. So Deanne Lane became a person who said, you know what? Let me go out to my community, to my friends, and learn how to show them that we take journeys every day in our neighborhoods.
Right.
We just have to do it on paper and take it from our mind and then again put it on paper. But at the end of the day, just having fun with what we have around us. That's who Deanne Lane is, teaching from what I see.
Wow, how about that? And you all hear that, New York. Yes. Listen, Deanne, you know, you graduated from an HBCU. Of course, you know, I graduated from Howard University as well. We all graduated from HBCUs, but I want you to talk about the value of that experience and what that has done in your life now, what that means for you now.
Well, you know what? It means so much more than it meant then than now, because I have to realize that learning my history, I didn't learn it till I went to my historically Black college. They didn't teach me about who I was until I arrived there. Because, you know, I have to remember that in the regular world where everyone gets to learn just basically the curriculum, going to a historically Black college, they take you down to the bare bones about where you came from. You know, from the boat to the seat in the lecture room. They took me there. So what it meant to me was it showed me, or it taught me, that there was more to me than just being a regular person. I'm a woman of color. Walking around just saying I'm like everyone else in a regular college, I couldn't get that from there. Going to a historically Black college, it just took me to a whole nother level. They had more to offer me as far as who I was. They saw me coming through the front door. You know?
Exactly. I mean, it's an experience that you will never forget. You know, I told my mother growing up, of course, I was in public school, integrated my elementary school, integrated my high school, and then, of course, saying, no, I don't want to go to a PWI. I want to attend a historically Black college and university so that I can learn about my people. That's the main thing. But, you know, coming from Charleston, South Carolina, growing up in Charleston, you learn about your history. You really learn about history. And so having that experience has brought me to a point now in my life where, I mean, I love being Black.
What?
And I tell
What?
anybody, if you can go to an HBCU, you better go.
Yes, and I encourage anyone who dares not to go. Just if it took 1 year, just go find out. You're gonna find out what it is to really stomp the yard. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
just go,
Exactly.
feel it, smell it, because our culture is not really in the public schools. They don't see us. I hate to say it like that. I love the fact we can get a free public education, but when it comes to history classes and making us whole,
Mm-hmm.
the enlightenment and the historical background about who we are, they don't have the bare bones. They don't have the nerve to teach us that in public schools. They just don't.
Yeah,
But when you
that's
go,
true.
going to a black university was like, so what the? I said, excuse me. I said, what the heck is this? And I get on campus, I'm like, these guys are stomping. I'm literally stomp the yard was my world, and I'm saying to myself, this is like it scared me coming from New York. This is not what New York.
Oh.
You got to remember, in New York, this is not what we have here. Going down,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I left Queens College to come
Mm-hmm.
down to Augusta, Georgia, to go to
Mm-hmm.
Payne College. So watching this on the yards, I'm like, what? I said, what is this? And you sit back and you just like you revel in the moment, like OMG, like this is what I've been missing. And once you
Exactly.
once you smell it and you taste it, you're gone.
You're gone. It's just
Gone.
like, I say going to DC. That's the black Mecca. I mean, that's it. Let's face it. Let's face
Girl,
it.
the
That
black
was
man.
it. And the
Yes.
times were so great. But Deanne, I want to shift our conversation because I've been telling everybody about you writing and producing.
Oh,
I want to know who inspired you, what inspired you to write, to do this, to be in the industry that you're in now.
well, you have to remember my grandfather was born a slave as a boy. So he wasn't just a sharecropper, born a slave as a boy. And when you see a grandfather who couldn't read or write, his mail coming to his coming to his mailbox at the end of the dirt road,
Mm-hmm.
as you grow up, you say to yourself, what do you want to be? And who inspired me? Really? Oh my God. I'm gonna say Terry McMillan. Okay, let me tell you why. Now, I did so many writers I couldn't mention. B.B. Moore Campbell, Maya Angelou, but Terry McMillan, the reason why I'm in love with her, oh, she takes you, okay, we can write about a lot of things, but she gave me the drama. The drama of writing about relationships and ups and downs about being a woman and going to my historically black college,
Mm-hmm.
reading her Waiting to Excel. Oh my
Yes.
God, I said, okay, I don't know when I'm going to do this, but she has to know from me that back in 19 what 19 oh I want to talk can I say I don't want to talk about the numbers
Just say
but
19.
19 I caught the bug from her, even though BB Moore Campbell, I did meet BB Moore Campbell in person there in Payne College,
Mm-hmm.
but Terry McMillan, something about Waiting to Excel was it was something about the way she wrote it. I said to myself, I want to be able to tell those stories. I saw those stories she wrote in my
Right.
own life. And I said, when I get a moment in my life, and as I grew up as a woman, I said, oh, she knew. She knew me. She knew me when. And
Exactly.
so inspiring me to write, I took my real life experiences, my
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend's experiences, and just people, my neighbors too, forgive me. I just put them in a book and I said, you know what? Let me see what this will do. So the first book that I did, I had no idea how many books I sold. Being an independent writer and selling that first book, it inspired me because people saying, how did you know to do this? I didn't know. It just came. And I was an
Mm-hmm.
English major, but Terry McMillan, I would say definitively reading Waiting to Excel really inspired me because it felt like real life.
Wow. And
Yeah.
what my favorite book of Terry McMillan's was, and I first read the one that I first read was Disappearing Acts.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that was the first one.
Yes.
And it's almost like you just go there.
Yeah.
You're in that place. And that's why I tell kids today, it's so great when you can just sit down and read a book and just be in the moment.
There you
You're right
go.
there. You see the house. You smell the house. You smell the perfume or the cologne, or and that's the way Terry writes. And
Yes.
I love it. And that's the way you write too,
Yes,
Dan.
And Terry rubbed off on me so much that I make sure every time I go to write anything about any one character, I literally climb into that character's skin, and I want to be that character until I can fulfill that actual storyline. Because I want people to smell that character,
Mhm,
taste. I want them to hear that character. It's
mhm.
very important to me because she did that for me as a reader, as a fan. And I said, in
Wow.
order to give her homage, I can't just step out here trying to be like her if I don't have it down like her. I'm just being
Well, you know
honest.
what? Let's talk about the fact that you're not only a writer, but you're also a producer. Tell us about DL Productions
Oh,
and all the things that are I know some things you can't talk,
okay.
about, some things you can't talk about, but I
Right.
kind of want to find out, how did you really start DL Productions?
Okay, so basically DL Productions came about when you have these projects that are sitting on your table, and unfortunately, not everybody's going to give you money to do stuff. So with DL Productions, took a couple of friends, a couple of our dollars, bought ourselves some cameras. I said, you know what? Let's see what we can do as far as what we want to put on film and capture. So DL Productions started out basically because when you wake up, you dream it, you smell it, you taste it. You can't you can't go to the next day unless you actually get it down, get it from paper to film. So Deal
Mhm.
Production started with just maybe $1,000, believe it or not.
Wow.
And when I as I was selling my first book, every dime that I took from every book that I sold went back into the company. For every like 300 books I sold, I bought a camera.
Wow.
Okay, and so you take what you have to you have to actually invest in yourself. So Deal Protection started from the bare bones of one book that paid for a camera, that paid for
Mm.
another camera. And so it was important for me to take my stories and put them on paper, and taking young up and coming directors and want to be actors and put them, whether it be in big or small, whatever we did. It was just taking talent that you saw that would not normally get the opportunity and put them on film and let them let's just they would call memorialize it forever, and let
Wow.
them do what they have to do in front of the camera and see what happens. And we did some good things.
Yeah.
We did some good things.
Yes, yes, you did. And so that brings me to one of your productions. And folks, this production was unique because it was 100 words. I don't even
Yes.
know how you write a whole movie with 100 words. Let's talk about that. Talk about Freedom Line, your production Freedom Line, because it was written in 2016.
Yes.
It's a film that really relates to what's going on now, our current
Yes.
situation,
Yes.
with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and
Yes.
Ahmaud Arbery and Sandra Bland, so many, Michael Brown, we could name it
Keep
on and
going.
on and on.
Right.
What inspired you to really write that type of film and kind of talk about it?
Okay, so when you know your history, and being a mother of a black male son,
Mhm.
I had to really try to understand where, oh wow, where racism, comes from. We know where it comes from. We clearly today we know exactly how it's systemic within our institutions, how the laws are written based on being still, racist, and how they are written against us, not for us, but mostly as a woman of color. I'm not going to get as much backlash as my black male counterpart. So, Freedom Line, when the opportunity was presented to me, 100 words, what could I say within 100 words to get someone's attention about what my black male counterpart was going through from a female perspective? So I said, okay, let me sit down. It took me about 3 days to really think about the character,
Mhm.
what the character may go through, how much he would have to say, convey through his emotions without saying it, the situation, all those involved in this particular project, that would have to show the world that black males, just from the moment they're born to the moment they create life, they're running for their life, if that makes sense. And the hundred
Exactly.
word in the hundred words film project was something that I really didn't need 100 words. I could have just said 20 words. I would have been good. But I just felt like giving Benjamin, I love that character, giving him a storyline from the moment he's on the master's property to being with his significant other, making a life that, unfortunately, you know the storyline.
Hmm.
He couldn't stay once he found out it was his child. He had to run for his life because what was initially supposed to be his moment of pride and love and joy, he had to run everything he owned. It was taken from him. So the Hundred Words Film Festival allowed me an opportunity to present to the world from a male's perspective, from the moment he's born, making life to running for his life, what happens
Mm,
to him at the end of his life. And,
right.
if you see it, you'll understand that, Benjamin from the past affects the present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's and I will tell folks, if you want to see it, go to deannelane.com and you can look at Freedom Line. I mean, it fits in so well about what's happening now. I mean,
Yeah.
Deanne, you wrote this, you did this in 2016.
Right. Right.
And to look at it now, I looked at it again and I was like, wow,
Yes.
wow, you were really ahead of your time in the fact that you put this story together that talks about what's happening in our world right now.
Yes. 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 And you just say to yourself, in okay, we're here in America. We know exactly what's going on. We now have our first woman of color as a vice president elect. I'm loving
Yes,
it.
yes,
Ah,
vote, vote,
yes,
vote.
yes, vote. Please vote, people. People, please. I don't care if you got to walk, drag, be pushed in. Go vote. Um, when you have seen it, you smell it, you see it, you live around it, and you hear young black males talk about it, even older black males. I
Mhm.
said, you know what? If I'm going to do something that's going to matter to my people, and I always try to do something that's relevant, something I can, as an educator, I got to remember that my young people, I hate to say this, they're into the quick stuff. So 100 words, I didn't have to say much. I want to get your attention. I want to grab you. I want to shake you. I want to make you nervous. I want to make you realize that it doesn't take much for you to run for your life and still lose your life.
Exactly.
I hate, and and I guess not knowing that when I wrote this, George Floyd would lose his life, and
Mm,
many others,
yeah,
and still today, more as we speak, someone's
so
losing their life.
that's
And
right.
watching Freedom Line from the perspective that I wrote it, it was so innocent. And again, you can wake up just going like the young man McLean coming from the store. He's an
Hmm.
innocent. He's an introvert,
Innocent. Yep.
innocent. They took his life for no reason, and so doing this project, Freedom Line, my black male counterparts, I think what saddens me the most, being a mother of a black male son. And I say to myself, I always worry. I wake up
Yeah.
and I'm scared to know that maybe my son just may go to the store and because he is a black male, be mistaken for something he did not do. And
Hmm.
because he may be tired, hungry, not feeling good, they may take it as him being aggressive. And so with as Benjamin in the Freedom Line, he basically he runs for his life
Runs
and
for his life.
he
Yeah.
runs for his life and he runs into his future and still
Yeah.
he can be taken.
Still thing. But I mean, people have to really, if you can, as I said, you can go to deannelane.com and you can see Freedom Line. I mean,
Just
it is, ooh.
thank you. And to know that we got honorable mention at the
Yes,
100 Words Film Festival was it was surreal when we got the phone call. I was shocked. I was like, we didn't win, but the idea that they gave us a mention, like I was shocked.
exactly.
I was like,
Exactly.
you like us? What? You guys see us. You see us.
That's right. That's right.
And
Because there were so many. There was. You were one of the few African Americans, I believe,
yes,
in
yes.
that particular festival.
It was only two of us. Two of
Yeah.
us. Two of us.
Yeah.
And to see Andrew Smith, he walked up. I'm so proud of Andrew. You may not be
Hmm.
seeing this. I'm proud of you, Andrew. A young, Andrew wasn't even 25
Wow.
who directed this, and I'm so proud of him. and his crew. They showed up. We didn't have big budget, but we definitely made some noise. And I'm just glad that people can, and if they do, if they're willing to see Freedom Line 2016,
Mhm.
like look, how we acting? Like really? Like we always been conscious. We always been woke. But I just think that with any filmmaker, do something short for those young people out there who don't have an hour, 2 hours. Give us 5 minutes, give us 20 minutes. Give them something they can hang on to, learn from, and then you say to yourself, you know what? What is Freedom Line about? It's about the past and the present. And Andrew Smith,
Exactly.
he captured it so perfectly for me. I will always respect and love him and wish him nothing well in this industry because I really want the best for him.
And
Yeah.
let's talk about that,
Yes.
because the industry now,
Mm-hmm.
and what we're going through, and as I told people, I want my show to be light. I want to
Yes.
inspire them. I want them to be ignited to move to the next level, to do
Mm-hmm.
what they'd like to do. And so,
Right.
talk about the industry for a Black African American Black female, and what that's like for you being in productions, because you've got some things. I know we can't talk
I
about them,
can't.
but
Yeah.
but you
I,
got some things on the horizon,
I
and I'm glad to hear that. But what is it like being a Black female in this business?
well, you're invisible right now. You're still invisible because
Wow.
there's so many other factors involved. It's not to be negative, but we as women, we see things somewhat, out of the ordinary from black. Let's just say not black, not white, doesn't matter what color you are. But in this industry, if you open the floodgates to women who are willing to write it, produce it, direct it, even just even just being a I don't know, a showrunner. You would be
Hmm.
surprised at how much we are aware of and how much we're willing to take care of what we need to do. But we aren't giving the respect that I think we're getting but it's taken a lot. We have to tear down so many walls to get it. We're
Hmm.
getting it, but it's at a loss of so many people before me. And again, I'm
Wow.
just now getting into and stepping into this world of production that the way I want to, and I'm coming in with really solid projects. Um, but still, there were so many before me who deserve so much more that they didn't get. I don't,
Right.
I mean, when you look at who's come before me, I'm saying to myself, wow, why, why would you not? And because if this is political, let's take that out of the arena for a second, because
Hmm.
being political can really stifle and suffocate the realism of what is being captured through the eyes of women. We see you, we hear you. As women, we wear so many more hats. And I hate to say this it's not to put men down, but as women, especially a woman of color, we wear so many more hats than our counterparts that we can grasp things that you may miss. There's nothing, no pun intended to be
Right.
disrespectful,
Right.
but we have to, as women of color, just women, period, we have to pick up so many more things than our male counterparts that they miss it. We love them, we're there to support them, but we also have to be able to support the family, the community, the children, just the whole. We women are the fabric of our families 9 times out of 10. And so
Exactly.
in the industry, when we come down and we show up with projects, it's like I say to people, say, why can't I? Because if I can't do it because he says I can't do it, because they're men,
Hmm.
unfortunately, our male counterparts run the industry. And
Exactly.
until we start running these production houses, we start getting our hands on the money, then we're able to tell the stories. And we don't just tell it from a female perspective. I could tell you a story from my son's perspective. I live with him. I hear him.
Hmm.
I talk to him. Even my neighbors who are males, because they can't possibly convey, or they can't convey, or they don't know how to convey their stories through, say, visuals. But just talking to me, because I have the talent to put it down. I would say the talent because God gave it to me. I'm able to
Hmm.
tell you his story that he would I know not normally be able to tell through his his vocals. And the industry is not willing to open the doors to us because, one, I'm going to say this, and it's not to be mean or to be rude, but as a woman, we tend to own it. Is that mean?
No, that's not me.
We tend to
No,
own it. We own it because we want to talk to everybody.
exactly. And the thing about it is being in the industry now, and what has just happened in institutional racism and everything that's going on, it seems as though Hollywood is trying to turn the tables now. So are you finding that you see more people and more women of color, more men of color, people of color being integrated into these new films that are happening now? Are you seeing that change within the last, I'm going to say within the last couple of months?
I have. I can honestly say that I have, and I think they're hearing us. And Colin Kaepernick, thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
I love you.
Oh yeah.
He was, and and I can name like a million people, but I keep it new because young voices, young people, young ears. Um, they see us. They're starting to hear us. We are very much a big piece of this country. And when you turn on TV, listen, we're everywhere. We should be there too.
Exactly.
But I do see it. I love it. I'm loving it.
Well, I love it too, and I'm excited about all the things that you have going on. So let's switch now, because
Hmm.
we've been talking about Freedom Line, and I've already said you're a writer, you're an author.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your book. Just going through some things. And girl,
Yes.
when I read that, oh my God. I mean, it was like being back it was like being back on campus.
Girl.
And when I tell you these girls went through some stuff, they was going through some times.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's so funny because we all go through things right now.
Yes.
Everybody's, especially right now with COVID,
Yes.
everybody's going through some things.
Yes.
So first of all, how did you come up with the title? One. And secondly, where did the idea come from?
Okay, so we as women always sitting around talking to each other, whether we have the red wine, the white wine, we don't care. Um, we always come in with our girlfriends and talk about, girl, I'm just going through some things. And I said, I ain't going through some things. I went through some things. Wait a minute, hold up, back up. That wasn't some thing. This some thing. I don't know what this is. Because, the title was befitting only because, I met as a woman of a certain age. We could teach younger women, yeah, you went through something, but we can tell you about some things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to walk in our shoes first. But the title, when you hear people actually talk and you hear the word things,
Mm-hmm.
they let you know it's a little bit more, a little bit harder than just a situation or an entanglement.
Mm-hmm.
Guess the word
Mm-hmm.
entanglement.
Mm-hmm.
This is a whole nother level. So when you go through some things, you tend to come out of it learning something. Think about, yeah,
Exactly.
that's why I put the things on it, because you can learn something, but did you learn some
Some
things?
things.
Some things.
Correct. I mean, it's all about the lessons that you learn. And the
There you
one
go.
thing about it is the characters. Now, your characters evolve. Uh,
Yes.
I'm telling you, folks, when you read this book, you're going to be like, wow, that was
Yeah.
me in college. That was
Yeah.
me at the university. That was me at work. That's what
Yeah.
I did. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they really went through some things. But of
Yeah.
course, as you said, they now have evolved and
Yes.
started learning those life lessons. And that's
Yes.
what I love about the book.
Thank you. Thank you. Brenda, Rachel, and Lee are really, because of Terry McMillan, I'm always going to go back to my girl. When she did Waiting to Excel, we met the characters somewhat like in their late 30s. And I
Mhm,
said, if I have to tell you a story about my girls, I'm going to take you back when they were just little girls before they got to their 30s. So
mhm,
you can see how when they arrived at their 30s, what did they bring with them from the past? Because the first book is just going through some things, the beginning. And by the time the second book is going to come out next year, because I'm waiting, I have to put it off a little bit. But, the women, when you meet them in college, they're 20, 21, 22. What do we really know?
not a thing,
No,
not a thing.
nothing. Girl, we were as green as green as a crayon. Okay. So going through college, girl, if I can go back and say, oh my God, let me pick my face up. Did I really do that? You know, but in the first book, it's just really taking you through learning about your body, your emotions, your sexuality, what you really want, your relationships. You
Mhm.
know, like I really went out with this guy. I really did this. Damn, I went through that. Wait a minute. What? Wait, what the hell? And then you always get that one crazy friend. Everybody got that one crazy friend. I had that one.
Mhm.
That's why she's in the book, because she earned her place in my life. Because she taught me how to be a fool, how to be crazy, how to be a loosey goosey, but also to how to just say, you know what, it's okay to let it all just let go. But she, like all the characters, like she and all the other characters, they have their issues, but they needed each other. You
Mhm.
know, we as women, the one thing I want to make sure when I did the first book, I make sure the girls were friends forever, ever. Hook a girl by hook or crook, because
Def-
we really need each other as women. I do not appreciate when women tear each other down, but you know what? When you find one good friend, you're lucky, they say in life. But
Oh,
when you can get two, but I put three good friends in a book, that means you'll be on blessed. You have been chosen. You have been, it's like God is like, listen here,
that's it.
I'm giving you a backbone. I'm giving you people who can give you the truth. I'm giving you people who are gonna ride with you to the day you die.
Mhm.
So it's important
Exactly.
that the first book was important to me, because that first book, I wasn't wrong. The second book, I'm even more wrong. Forgive me. The second book is even, girl. I did some damn, because I've been through something as well.
Right.
I'm just
It-
resurfacing after my own crazy life. But the second book is going to embody all I went through in this moment right now. But it's to show you that the girls still hung out even after college. It's so important
Mhm.
that we
And
have that. Mhm.
that's one of the things that I wanted to touch on, because time will run out real quick on us, and so I
Yes.
wanted to touch on the thing. You talking about just going through some things, but at the same time, I see you juggling life,
Mhm.
work,
Yes.
grandmother, producer, all these things. How do you do that? And talk about those challenges that you have had in your personal life, and how you're able to now come back and really just push it forward.
Well, where do I begin? It's so much you could say, so I'll keep it as clean as I can. We as women, and let me say everyone, forget about gender, color, whatever. Anyone who goes through interruptions in the plans, when you say you're going to get
Mm-hmm.
married, I do forever. Sometimes forever doesn't happen, and it's okay. It's okay. I tell people it's okay. It's going to hurt at first. It's going to sting you. It's going to shock you. It's going to make you just feel like I failed, and you didn't fail. It's just that life has taken its, it's done what it has to do. You've taken the journey. Now you're finished. It's time to take another journey. So, coming back now as a producer, a writer, a grandmother, it has been the best comeback I can ever have right now, pretty much mid 2020, because I've actually brushed off all of the old wounds, and I'm a better person. I'm a much better person than I was from 2015 on. Even though 2016 was a great year for me,
Mm-hmm.
but after 2017, I got better. I began to grow more, understand that life happens, and you don't get mad at the past. Take the past and use it as your opportunity to create a new journey, a new layout for your journey for the future. And I learned a lot about myself. And what I learned is I'm a great grandma. I love my granddaughter. I was like, a little person. What is this? It's a creature. It's a little thing. It's running around. It wants to eat, play, poop. But you know what? I can't live without her. Oh,
Wow.
breath of fresh air. And as a producer and a writer, those two things, I actually sit down. I spend a little bit more time, because I have to think about my granddaughter, because
Mm-hmm.
I want her to remember me, one, as a woman who, despite all she's been through, my grandmother had the time to sit down and write some books for me to read, even though she may not be here. My grandmother taught me how to be a good writer. She left me behind a legacy. So, um, you know, and then, today, as just being a mother and, just being a grandmother, it's been surreal. I say
Wow.
the word. I said the surreal twice today. I said to someone else, but I
Hmm.
say the word surreal because I wake up. I'm actually live. I got Pampers right now in my living room. I got a walker, a little walkie thing. I got a playpen, and I'm saying to
Hmm.
myself, I think, and I know God prepared me for this moment because I know my granddaughter's able to talk to me. She's about to turn one, August 27th, and when she's able to talk to me, say, "Grandma, you really did all these things." I say, "Yeah, and so can you." So
Exactly.
it's important that I make sure that I handle my business in a way in which she can be proud of me and not worry about what I went through and not allow what the past, because when we go through things in the past, people get stuck. I tell people all the time, don't let the past stop you from your present and your future. Um,
Hmm.
you have to still keep getting on, because eventually we all got to get up out of here.
That's right.
So before I get up out of here, on my tombstone was like, it's going to read, she did it all. She did it
All
all.
right.
That's all I
All
want to
right.
know. Yep, that she did it all. So that's me.
And that's the beauty of it. And I tell people all the time, as I said, having the opportunity to be home, be
Hmm.
sheltered in, you're spending time with yourself,
Hmm.
right? The
Yes.
one good thing about it was that because I'm a Christian, I got closer to God.
Yes.
And when I say that, that means I studied, I did all of these things. But then when I look at my past and I'm like, okay, so now it's time just to move on. I learned those lessons. And
Right.
so as I even talked with Catherine, my daughter,
Right.
what are those life lessons that you learn from this particular situation
Oh
so that you
wow.
can move on to the next situation? Because we're going to
Right.
have those bumps in the road. And that's
Yeah.
why I love what I'm doing now, your story, your community. I'm here talking with you about your unique story because Deanne, you've been through a lot.
Mm.
You've seen a lot. You've been
Yeah.
through a lot. You
Yeah.
live in New York, one. Like you
Mm.
said, you left New York to come down south,
Yeah.
and that was like culture shock, right?
What? What?
But then you have the opportunity to spend time with your family.
Yes.
You talked about your grandfather, and so all of those things, and then like for me, going through divorce, all those types of things.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
what can we say? Going
Nothing.
through some
Hey, just
things.
going through some things, girl. Let me tell you something, honey. Oh, girl,
Going through some things. But Deanne, you talk about you want to do it all, but realistically,
Mhm.
how challenging is it for you to juggle everything? What's a typical day like?
Oh gosh, a typical day. I'm up at 4 in the morning. I'm working out, walking my Chihuahua Maestro, coming back, cracking open emails, going through what happened on other things that are happening, and making
Mhm.
sure I make the phone calls and pulling out the next two books. And yeah, there are three more books coming, people.
All
Pulling out
right.
and keep writing and writing. And I built a house from the ground up. So
Really?
yeah, so I'm gonna be moving soon from here, from downstate to upstate.
All
Which is
right.
in the writers community, more quiet, more trees, but a typical day, like I said, 4 in the morning, walking the dog by 7, and calling, checking on my granddaughter, cracking open my emails, checking on projects that are coming, pulling out my timeline of things I need to get done as far as creating. And I'm up at 2. I mean, like I said, when I go to bed, it's like 12, 1 o'clock. But by that time, I'm already writing a chapter in a book or working on a new script.
Wow.
And the day in my life is it's busy, busy, but it's to the point where I know that being busy is like God. I can't explain. God put some gasoline in me, so I'm like, He cranks me up. He say, "Me fill you up." It's just things I have to get done during the day that are so busy that by the time I go to bed, it's midnight. So a
Mm.
day in my life is barely getting a meal sometimes because I know that I have to get it done because your spirit talks to you. A lot of people talk about they know why they're here. I know why I'm here. I'm here because I
Mhm.
have to get all these stories out of my head, get them down on paper. So I can't rest until I know it's down on paper somewhere. In the event I don't wake up the next morning,
Mhm.
someone knows knows where it is, and they'll say, "This is what she was thinking." Oh my God! Because again, during Freedom Line 2016, I wrote that back in 2014. I couldn't sleep until I got it out of my system.
Wow.
I would be up walking the floor late at night, like, what is going on? And I'm saying to myself, I got to get it on paper. And once I finally did, and this project came up, it was just perfect. But a day in the life, simple, quiet, running behind a granddaughter and a dog, a chihuahua. And my girlfriend's calling me, what are you doing? Say, girl, I gotta go. Click. Or just waiting to move to my new space. But I'm it's a busy day, but I can't explain my day because what I'm doing, I'm not working. I'm loving. They say if you love what you do, you never work, right?
All right.
So I
All
can't I
right.
can't really explain it other than just working with the people I love, producing stuff.
And I can't wait to see these productions
Oh, I
that are
can't wait
coming
to
out.
see
I
it.
mean, I know you can't even give
I
us
can't.
teasers.
I
I know,
can't.
I
I
know,
can't.
but hopefully they will come on Tammy,
Yes.
and people will be able to see
Yes. I
what's
promise.
happening.
Yeah, the minute the things are moving, you'll be the first place I'm
Well,
gonna come. I promise.
all right.
I'll,
I know it. I know, and I appreciate it. Listen, let's talk about this. What advice do you have for people who want to be writers and producers who want to get into this industry? What advice do you have for them?
it's a lot of advice. Let's talk about the writer. Wow, the writer. Well, the writer has to know he or she's a writer. Honestly, you just do. You have to be able to sit down and say, you know what, I'm willing to spend time with me as a writer.
Mhm.
Because what happens is anybody can get up and get a piece of paper and just write something, but why are you writing it? You know what I mean? Let me get a little water. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So, being a writer requires you to really go so deep inside of yourself that that you have to find that quiet time. And I write between 11 and 3 in the morning. Excuse me.
Get
And
some water, Deanne.
give me a
Get
second.
get some water.
Okay, no
You
problem.
just spilled it, right? You just knocked something over.
No, it's this cup. This cup.
Yeah. Listen, I'm having water as well. Mhm. That's the beauty of being live and being in your own home.
Yes. So, being a writer requires you to really go deep within yourself because God gives you that. Honestly, it does. I can't tell you how to be a writer because for me, it came because I couldn't sleep.
Mm.
When you can't talk to someone and you could talk to paper, it's my best friend. So, um, you have to really want to writing. You have to want to hone it. It's like a garden. You got to go in
Hmm.
every day, piece by piece by piece, and it's like the gorilla. And I always tell people when you write a book, you're wrestling with the gorilla, and until you beat the gorilla, the book is never done.
And what does that say about people who think they are writers and then they start writing and they may put it down? I mean, what is the preparation that you have to have? Is there any particular preparation that you need? Do you have to go to college, or
No,
it's just innate? It's one of those things that we call an innate talent that just comes to you. Would you say that?
yes and no, yes and no. I didn't
Okay.
know I was a writer until I was 17. So you can walk around thinking, oh, I think I can write. I think I can write. I didn't know I was a writer until I was 17. I did a poem. And I did it for my 11th grade class. The teacher said, oh my God, where'd you get those words from? I don't know. I went to bed and woke up with them.
Wow.
So you don't have to go to college. Let me tell you something. You and I both know education is something we all seek, but a gift is a given.
That's a gift from God.
My gift as a writer is a given. Excuse me. I don't get upset about not being able to be a bestseller just yet. I say just yet. because,
Mhm.
you know, I got the gift. I love the fact I have a gift. I'm not even mad about it. But being a
Yeah,
writer, you just have to accept that you have a gift. You have to write it. You can't sleep it. Get up and write about it. But you don't. The plan to be a writer, you don't. There is no plan. It's a given.
that's true.
There
Now
really is
that
no
is
plan.
true.
It's no plan.
Just like being a producer.
Being
How, how is it that you are in the you're an educator? See, this is what people say when you say there's something that you love to do.
right,
There's something that you love to do, and you know that God put it in you, and it's something else that's out there for you to do.
right.
Producing. How did that happen? You know, what would you tell someone today that wants to be a producer?
Plan. Save. Patience. And basically, being a producer is not. I would rather be a writer than a producer. Producers are producers. I take my hat off to you every day of the week. It's a lot of work
Tell me about
to take from paper, like you're producing now. I could not do what you do. I wouldn't pay anybody to try to be you. I don't want to be you. But to be a producer, the reason why I stepped into those shoes is because one, nobody was going to produce me but me.
it.
You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to go out in faith. But what happened along the way was I learned that, you know what, as a writer, you know, you can step from behind the paper and step right in front of not in front of the camera, but behind the camera, into the money line, into the logistics of it all. And learned that producers wear so many hats that that's a talent in itself. And producing is something that you have to want to do, but it's not hard to do, but you got to want to do it.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
something, it's a gift, again, a gift. And I produce books. I said, why not produce a production? And I learned to do stuff like that. You know,
Mhm.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot. You mess up a lot of friendships behind it too.
Yeah, that's true.
People do not understand. Like where you are right now, somebody's probably calling you on the phone right now. Where you at? Where you at? But you can't because you're streaming live.
How did you guess?
Because
Texting. How did you
yeah,
guess?
yes, honey. Because tomorrow morning somebody gonna curse you out. Where you at? What you doing? Why you're not my friend? I'm like, what? You're not my. I mean, I am your friend.
Yeah, but you know, when people look at someone like you, they look at someone like me. They think that it just is happenstance, that it just happened.
Nope.
But I tell people, you pay your dues. You've got to be determined. And
Yes.
as I'm speaking out there to someone who's looking now, I'm speaking to myself
Right.
because you've got to be determined. You've got to love what you do. I love doing this. I love talking to people. I love meeting
Right.
people, just like you do. You love writing, and you can tell
Yes.
in your writings.
Yes.
You know, you love producing and putting it all together because I've seen the scripts and all that, and you love
Yes.
doing that. And so I'm encouraging people today while you're on the line, TM, while we're here, do what you love.
If COVID-19 didn't teach you anything, it needs to teach you that tomorrow's not promised to you. And if you have something to put out there into the universe, whether it be a script, a book, a poem, hell, a letter in the mail to somebody, do it because when we wake up in the morning, our world we have a new normal. We actually have a
That's
new normal, and I need people to understand that producing, writing, you do pay your dues because you lose a lot of friends along the way. You spend a lot of time alone. People don't get that either, and you learn a lot about yourself as well.
that's right.
And
You know, go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. And I'm just saying, and basically, when the dust settles after you finish doing everything you have to do, you're gonna find out who your real friends are.
Mm.
You really
Oh
are.
wow.
You know that.
Wow.
You know that.
Yes. And you really find out who your
Yes,
friends are,
definitely.
especially during this time. And I'm glad you said what you said
Right.
about this time in COVID, that people can now begin to kind what is it? I said, find yourself. You know
Yes.
how we talk about that, find yourself. This is
Yes.
the time when you can really do some innovative things. You can think outside of the box. You can just take it to a whole nother level because you had a whole lot of time.
Yes.
And I love what you said about the fact that tomorrow's not promised to anybody because we've lost a lot of folks. We've lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
And during this time, you know, each day is not a promise.
Not one.
You're not promised that you're going to be here today. And so I'm just glad that you joined us today. Listen, Deanne, I want to ask you, what's next?
Oh, next for me? We see 2021.
Yes.
No, 2021, right?
Yeah, well, 2021, yes.
Wow, you know, it's funny how it falls off my lips weird. Let's just say that if everything plays its cards right, you'll see me a little bit everywhere. Just a little bit. A little bit everywhere.
That's the teaser.
That's the teaser. A little bit everywhere. And book 2 will be out next year. Guaranteed. Book 2 will be out. Just going through some things. The journey. And you're gonna meet the ladies from book 1 when they're in their 30s. Okay, it is a trilogy, and just hopefully 2021 I'll be healthy, happy, and bringing you, as you know, I got some stuff going on. Something I've been working on these projects for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Wow. I paid my dues, and so if everything goes well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be seeing me everywhere. That's all I can tell you. And being healthy and happy. I'm really concerned about just being healthy and happy and safe. You know, and I'm actually, you know, hopefully in love.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Question.
Yes.
Is there? Now, you know, I know you talked about it because I went through divorce and all that too. And you, of course. And so is there love life happening or going to happen?
It's happening. It's happening. Something's happening. Yes, right. Something's happening. I'm happy with something's happening. I'm learning to, you know what? After divorce, I tell people all the time, after divorce, it's not over. It's not over until you can't breathe. Come on now. You know, I'm fortunate to say that right now in my life, there is love, there's companionship, there's a friendship. And I feel happy I'm a woman of a certain age. I will not tell you my age, but
you look good.
Thank you, girl. I'm trying every day. Just want to make sure that, you know, I'm worthy of love. Everyone's worthy of love after divorce, after just a long-term relationship, whether you're married or not. But if you have to love yourself even afterwards, no matter what happens, you know, and sometimes love, in this case for me, is snuck up on me. I didn't see, girl.
And let me ask you this. We're talking about during COVID. We're talking about during COVID. So you found love during COVID.
Actually.
Or was it before COVID?
It was before, but during COVID, we kept running into each other.
Okay.
And he just took a moment and reached out, and I was like, okay, let me take a chance. Because you know what it is? What have I got to lose? You know what I mean? A great guy. I'm a great girl. I mean, why not? You know?
Wow.
But no, love during COVID has been really good for me. Healthy.
Well, and that's the main thing. You know, I think right now we need to be concentrating on our mind, our body, and our spirit.
Girl, you never lied about that. You never lied about that. Yeah. And
so having that love life for you right now is wonderful. I mean, it's great to hear that. Congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't, girl. I thought it was over for me. I said once, it was like, what? Divorce? Like, who am I going to date? Who's going to want to date me? I just knew it was over for me. But no, it's something that, you know, God has. I say the universe. I would say God, the universe. There's a plan for every last one of us. I don't care who you are. You sit back acting like, oh, it's never going to happen for me. That's not true. Don't shut down because you still have life to live. You got to enjoy it. You know, we all just going through some things, right?
Hey, and listen, we're going to put that back up again. Just going through some things by Deanne Lane, writer, producer, going through some things. You know, Deanne, we don't have a lot of time left, but
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I want to ask you about is while people are looking at this interview, and I do want to thank everybody for joining us. What do you want? What's the takeaway? What do you want them to take away from this interview?
Wow. Take away that your life is not just one layer. There's so many layers to you as a human being as you grow. And always remember, look beyond the corner of your block, look beyond the stop sign. Because there's life out there. I mean, it's life. Go live
Wow.
it. Do not sit there. Do not act as if the couch is the only place you can go. Just know that if you never thought about doing it, put it like this, if you never thought about doing it, but you saw it and you were just slightly curious, just go try it. Just look, just touch it. Just what is what? Just go, just do something. You're alive. My God, you are because when it's over, it's over.
Yeah, it's
Be
over.
adventurous. Just go do it because covert. This has been a learning experience for every last one of us.
It really has, Deanne. It really has. And I love the analogies that you used. And the one thing you talk about, life is a university.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
It really is.
girl, you ain't got to go to
We're in
college.
the university of life.
Girl, let me tell you something. I tell people, let me tell you something about the life of university. Let me tell you something. If you never went to college, every lesson you need to learn from counting to science, to learning how to speak, to learning how to walk, talk, hell, dribble a ball. Just go out, just go walk around your neighborhood. You can see all that.
That's right. That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
that's it.
That's right. Well, Deanne, I really appreciate you
It's over
joining this
already.
show.
It's
Well,
over.
well, wait. I got a couple more things.
Okay.
So I got a couple more things. Okay. So I always like to ask my guests to describe themselves. And so in 3 words, Deanne, how do you describe Deanne in 3 words?
Oh wow, fun, happy, and love.
Ooh. Fun, happy, and love.
That's it.
And and you are a Christian, and so I'm going
Yes.
to ask you, what does God mean to you?
Everything, girl. Purpose of everything. He's the purpose of everything.
Wow, Deanne, this has been great. I
I
mean,
thank you for
I
having me.
thank you so much for joining the show. Tell everybody how they can get the book. Do you want them to go to the website?
Go to the website. Everything is there from the book to even seeing Freedom Line. You have got to see Freedom Line from 2016. You know, if you didn't think we were real then, listen, we knew what was going to happen. And unfortunately, George Floyd had to die in front of cameras and so many others who have died. We don't have footage. Go see what we were thinking then. So you know that there are other writers and producers thinking the same thing I'm thinking even today. That's what we're trying to show our young people and try to put it out there on film to memorialize it forever. For every last one of you to understand that we all, especially my young Black male counterparts, my heart beats for you. I pray for you. I always wish that you guys are safe. I get it. I totally get it.
Right. And for young people, Deanne, you said something earlier. You said that you really work with young people
Yes.
on your production. So if there's someone young out there that's saying, hey, I want to get in touch with this lady, what do they need to do?
Go to dnlane.com. There's a contact page up there. Contact me. Let's have a conversation.
Wow. And
I'm
there we
all
go.
for you. I'm all for the young folks. Come on, guys. We need you.
And so that's a part of DL Productions, and they can be a part of DL Productions. They can get their name in lights, as we say.
Yeah. Well, I'll try. Look, I'm gonna try. If I gotta put a candle to a mirror, look, your name's right there, baby. Look, we got you. But we're gonna make sure you do something positive in the production world.
Oh,
Definitely.
wow. Deanne, you are fabulous. Listen,
Thank you.
give baby girl my love.
Thank
I
you.
just appreciate you so
I
very
appreciate
much.
you back.
And this was so much fun. And so I want folks to realize that, this is streaming live. So we're talking live. We're talking from our own homes and everything. And so we are just enjoying this time together. Next week, Deanne, I'm going to be talking to a 12-year-old fashion model.
I gotta see.
She is fabulous. She's fabulous. She's in California, and she was the first African-American female 12-year-old to walk the New York
What?
Fashion Week. Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
gotta
ma'am.
tune in. I'm tuning
Yes,
in.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, Deanne, listen, you take care of yourself, and thank you so much. Love
And
you.
I'm sorry for my allergies, guys. I'm sorry. I coughed. My
That's
bad.
all right. We
Okay.
love you, Deanne. Take
Love
care
you back.
now.
Thank you, Tammy. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining Tammy. As you heard, thank you. Bye-bye.